Hello and welcome to this Amaterasu build order guide for the Japanese expansion. We're going to start by putting the 3 starting villagers on hand and by building a shrine using the Miku. Shrines for Amaterasu increase resources in its radius. So I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to auto queue villagers. We're going to put 2 extra villagers on food from the town center. We're going to use the kitsune to scout. And with the Miko, we're going to build a shrine basically like this. So whenever you're looking to build a shrine as Amaterasu, make sure at least your hunt is in radius. Right now we got a nice spawn, our gold mine is next to our hunt, so we can build a shrine over here. The reason of that is because shrines for Amaterasu increase resources overall. And that means if we place a shrine like this, we're gonna have more wood to chop from this wood line, more hunt to hunt from these giraffes, and more gold to mine from this gold mine. It's slowly increasing resources for everything that is in its radius. So we're going to drop pretty much the shrine like this with a Miko. So everything is in radius. Again, scouting with the Kitsune. And then we'll have the Miku working on the shrine, pretty much empowering it. That's how you generate favor. One more thing about shrines in general is that the more resources that are in a shrine's radius, the more favor you generate. So the more trees we have, the more hunt, the more gold mines in its radius, the more favor this building is gonna be generating. That's how Japanese generate favor, when the Miku is empowering basically the shrine. So it works like an Egyptian monument, pretty similar. And on top of that, if you ever get raided, you can garrison your Miku into the shrine. The shrines have one capacity for units if you ever get raided. Okay, let's continue. Once you have 5 villagers on food, the next 2 villagers will go over the wood line. And by the way, this is a watermill. For the Japanese, you can drop off food and wood on the watermills. So we're going to build one more watermill on this wood line, so we can drop off wood there. One more important thing about Amaterasu is the fact that Amaterasu begins with tier 1 Bushido, which is unique for her, and it gives for Amaterasu 1 gold mine. I mean 1 gold of passive income per second. So this is super important. That means we do not need to mine any gold in the Archaic Age in order to build our temple. So we will be focusing mainly on food and few villagers on wood. We will not be mining gold so far. And to build our temple, we will be using the Miku. Miku can build shrines and temples. So instead of adding a villager to build a temple, we will be using the Miku. Okay, let's go. 2 villagers on wood. Get those goats underneath the town center. And once we have 2 on wood, we're going to queue 2 more villagers on food from the town center. By the way, once you have 5 favor, this is another trick for Amaterasu. Once you have 5 favor, you are going to queue up Kagura from your shrine. This will give you 1 new free Miko that you can use, for example, to pick up relics. And it's also going to decrease Miku training time. So we can build Mikus only from the town center, and whenever we want to build a new one to generate more favor, or basically increase resources nearby shrines, then we will be building that Miku, which will also be trained faster. Kagura is unique, you can only upgrade it through Amaterasu. Okay, let's get Kagura. Once you have 150 gold, we select the Miku and we drop a temple. And then we shift that Miku back to the shrine to pretty much empower and work on it. We're going to send the second Miku that spawns from the town center when you get Kagura to grab some relics. But remember, before you do that, you need to upgrade this, the Sacred Custodian. So we need like 25 gold and around How much? And we need to have like a temple available. So we're gonna have to wait for the temple to go up on the way. And after we have like 7 villagers on food, the rest from the town center will go to wood. We now upgrade this. And in between time, you can drop a shrine if you like, in a corner or on a wood line to generate more favor. Last villager goes to wood, and we age up here through Ameno Uzume. Because when playing Amaterasu, we're focusing heavily on infantry. So we get some infantry upgrade here, plus 10% hit points, so we can play basically with samurais and everything. And also boosting our shrines and stuff like that. So let's click up. Let's get ourselves a house. And once we have that upgrade and we've built the second shrine, we're going to select the relic, send it over to temple, and then send that Miku back to the shrine. Even if you get raided, you can garrison the Miku inside the shrine, you're gonna be fine. Around here we want to switch like 3 villages from food to gold, so now we're gonna be mining gold. And that house is super important, you're gonna drop even a second house. And then back to the shrine. We're gonna use those kitsunes to scout. And upon age up, you are going to train a new Miku that will be sent either to berries or chickens. So we boost their... So we can boost basically the resources, so we can gather more resources from them. Let's get those goats underneath. Time to be scouting around our opponent's base. You can do some scouting around, you cast this, God Power, that gives us back myth units that we lose in the battlefield. We're gonna drop a new shrine again. Let's do it like on chickens and the woodline, like this. So it gets the woodline and the chickens. And when playing Amaterasu, you are very likely to play again with infantry. This is gonna be the meta for Amaterasu. We can auto-queue villagers on food, we can open with double infantry. And the good thing about Japanese is the fact that from all 3 military buildings you can train heroes. So even if our opponent is mashing out myth units, we always have military buildings that allow us to train heroes from them. We're auto-queuing villagers on food because samurais cost pretty much mostly food. So it's food and gold, you see. A lot of gold too. And once you have around like 12 villagers on food, you can then train few more on gold. You can build a new kitsune from the temple if you wanna scout better, so you're similar to Odin. And pretty much from now on the game plan depends. So you can do this build and grab a second fast town center if you like. You can skip the barracks. If there is a defensive map like Watering Hole, then you can adjust your build order in a way that allows you to grab a fast second town center and using a Miku to defend against any myth units, using your own myth unit, and then dropping your military buildings in order to defend against any push. But so far, Amaterasu looks pretty much like a one town center god. If the meta changes, I will let you know. So this was pretty much the build order for Amaterasu. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.